Well, good morning. Welcome back to the Broadcast Retirement Network. I'm Jeff Snyder. This is BRN AM for Thursday, October 26th, 2023. And our top story today, getting benefits to work for all. And joining me now to discuss this and a lot more, Tim Rouse is the Executive Director of the Spark Institute, and James Libery is with IRA Logics. Tim, great to see you again. James, welcome to the program.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, Tim, it's always great to see you. Let's take the audience through what they can expect when they come to the Spark Forum coming up in November.
Well, thanks for having us again, Jeff. And this year's conference and forum in November is really about making benefits work for all. Because if you think about Secure 2.0, most of the bill focuses on the bottom half of the employment pyramid, and with good intentions. So you think about things like student loan repayments, expansion of coverage for part-times, even the refundable tax credit are all meant to encourage and engage that bottom part of the pyramid, which I am confident that our members can do and will do. So one of the first things that we have is we've invited a group of senior level government officials to come in and talk about their vision of the necessary collaboration between government and the private sector. So we've got commitments from the U.S. Treasury to participate and discuss things like the refundable tax credit. We've got Social Security Administration that's attending, and we've got an invitation out there for the Department of Labor to join us as well, to share their thoughts on the participant lost and found.
Well, James, Tim laid out, I think, the overarching theme, which is benefits for all, but there are some real key threads where you and the event committee use to kind of pull this agenda together. Can you take us through that thread?
Yeah, for sure. And again, as Tim was explaining, when we think about this theme and benefits for all, and again looking at as Jeff had mentioned, kind of the thread of from keynote down to the individual panels and the topics there, it really is exploring from an industry how we are adapting and changing to the very specific needs of participants, plan sponsors, and advisors, and specifically around personalization, income, creating paychecks, the use of AI, financial literacy, the participant experience, and then, of course, bridging the gap between kind of in plan and out of plan. So going from retirement to wealth, and what does that really look like, and exploring that from a solutions perspective, a reg, etc. So it's going to be very exciting, and I think it's going to be a lot of fresh topics too for the attendees to enjoy.
Yeah, and Tim, I want to come back to you because I really love that government panel. And look, there's nothing going on at Social Security, Department of Labor. They're just IRS, right? They're not doing anything. But in all seriousness, there's a lot going on in terms of regulation. But what I like about Spark is that you've got members from all sides. So you've got advocacy for participants and something you guys are focused on. But you've got the record keepers, the service providers, folks who are working on IRA and custodialship, et cetera, right? So there's a lot of membership that comes together to share the best and brightest ideas.
And Jeff, that's a great point. And to add on to that, you heard me talk about the general session that we're having with the senior executives of those agencies. But after that, we are actually having roundtable discussions, which are an open forum for discussions on issues such as how do we make the expansion of coverage to part-time employees work, which is in Secure 2.0. How do we make the refundable tax credit work? How do we make the plumbing work so that when the IRS determines that you're eligible for this refund, that money actually gets into an account that is active and waiting for the amounts of money that you have? And then finally, the Department of Labor is based on Secure 2.0 obligated to construct a participant lost and found. Clearly, that again requires a partnership between the government and private industry to make that work effectively.
Yeah, I mean it is, James. It's a big agenda, and it's one that covers multiple days. So just to give the audience, Tim's already talked about some of the dates, but every day is chock from the 5th on, chock full of sessions, and you can kind of pick and choose where you want to go.
Yeah, that's really the beauty of it. And again, it's you're not going to find the thought leadership all in one place, in one event across this industry, listening, debating, and presenting on all these topics that we've been discussing, which is what makes this really just, such a unique and special conference each and every year.
Yeah. Well, gentlemen, I need to take a very quick break. When we come back, we'll talk more about the Spark Forum, what you need to know. And also, you can still register, so you're not going to want to miss out on that. You're going to want to stay tuned right here on BRN AM. Imagine a new television network that will make you richer, healthier, and in control of your financial future. This network is for the policewoman in Nashville, Tennessee, the baker in Dubuque, Iowa, the teacher in Lexington, Kentucky. We want to make the idea of savings and retirement culturally relevant. But what do you see as a defining issue of the midterms, especially for the smaller businesses? I mean, they are the lifeblood of the American economy. Featuring exclusive interviews, current affairs, and docuseries. 33 years old, you retired early.
The philosophy is money only matters if it helps you live a life that you love.
But you got to start thinking about retirement as soon as you get in.
The Broadcast Retirement Network will drive very high engagement with premium partnerships. So this isn't retirement and savings for your parents or grandparents. This is for all Americans. And we're going to change the way you think about money. Welcome to the next frontier of retirement and savings. This is BRN, the Broadcast Retirement Network. Welcome back. We're joined this morning by Tim Rouse of the Spark Institute and James Liberi of IRA Logics. James, Tim, thanks so much for staying with us. Really appreciate you hanging around for segment number 2 this morning.
Great. Thanks again for including us.
Yeah, thanks for participating. James, let's come to you because a lot of people, look, I think it was a great tease going into the commercial break. I'm biased, of course. But if I'm watching the program, I'm a member of the industry, I want to check out the Spark Forum coming up in just a few weeks. How do I register?
Yeah, great question. So certainly still time. So registration, anybody can go to sparkinstitute.org and click on the Fall Forum. And the registration links are still open on there. And it's a very simple and straightforward process. And it's all done digitally through the website.
Yeah, and you don't want to miss out. I mean, there's the agenda. You can see all the great sponsors, the people that are participating to help support the Spark Institute. Tim, I want to come back to you because I think you touched on this a little bit in the first segment. There's a really powerful Day 2 panel. I just wanted to talk about that a little bit more. This is where you kind of get input from I would say, plan sponsors, people in the field each and every day dealing with things like acute care. You want to tell us a little bit about that panel?
Sure, Jeff. That's been a tradition for Spark, and the Spark Forum is to have a panel of chief human resource officers that come in and talk about what they face day to day. And the intent there was to bring them in direct contact with our members so that they can share with them the issues that they're struggling with. In the past, we've had different types of human resource officers groups, whether they were maybe government, large companies, small companies, high-tech firms. We change it around. This year, given that our topic is making benefits work for all, and the focus is on that lower part of the employment pyramid, we've brought in a number of chief human resource officers from acute care hospitals, rehabilitation hospitals, nursing homes, to talk about their concerns. Because if you think about those organizations, they often have a very small number of senior executives, a thin layer of medical staff, and then a large group of direct service employees, whether it's food service, whether it's janitorial, whether it's home care, all serving their population of patients. And so they, more than most, deal with this issue of attracting and retaining employees, particularly at that lower part of the pyramid. And so we'll hear directly from them of the struggles that they're having. And then following that, we actually have another panel of vendors that are outside of our direct silo of retirement services that have offerings that may help us address the concerns of these types of HR offices. What we're hearing both from advisors as well as from our record keeper members is that they're being asked not just to speak about retirement issues, but to look at the benefits package as a whole and make recommendations that can help these HR executives provide services across the board.
Yeah, and James, just to kind of come back to you, and I know you helped lay out this agenda. I mean, this is really, to Tim's point, this is really a good venue if you're a product development person, so you're developing the products of the future. So you're going to have all these products already built, maybe, or some in process of being built. But if you're a product development person within the industry, around the industry, or interested in kind of the future of the industry, this agenda really is built for you.
Yeah, 100% agree. And again, I think, with the health and wealth side of this, the aspect of that is just so important, because when we think about how are we servicing participants, which are in plan, and then bridging the gap to wealth, right? So now talking about participants to investors, and how does that needs, or how do their needs change, is certainly not a new notion, but it's definitely drawn a lot more attention of late, just because of the sheer size of the population that will soon be going into a preservation and decumulation or payout. And how does that change the offerings that we as an industry need to provide to them to successfully help them hit whatever retirement looks like for them, right? What their goals are. So, this is where you're going to come and hear the dialogue and understanding and points of views from sponsors and advisors and product development folks. So, it's an exciting topic, and it's a great panel.
Yeah, and Tim, just to kind of round things out with you, I mean, James makes a really good point. This is an aging society, not unlike other continents around the world. States, municipalities, building infrastructure. We're going to need more infrastructure to support in aging America. Spark is a good place to come learn about the future.
Well, that is our focus, Jeff, providing a secure retirement for over 100 million American workers.
Yeah, well, we really appreciate. Yeah, absolutely. Well, James, Tim, thanks so much for joining us. And look, have a great Spark forum, and we look forward to having you back on the program again very soon.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thanks, Jeff. Really enjoyed it. Hope to see everybody down.
And that wraps up this episode of BRNAM. Have a topic of interest, someone you think we should talk to? Well, drop us a line. And don't forget, for all the latest curated news and lifestyle, wellness, finance, tech, so much more, all in one place. One place. Check out today's edition of our daily newsletter, The Morning Pulse. Want to search our archives, check out our latest content? Well, visit our website. We're back again tomorrow with another great edition of BRNAM. We'll have a very special guest. Until then, I'm Jeff Snyder. Stay safe, keep on saving, and don't forget, roll with the changes. Now is your opportunity to co-create content around any topic on the First Lifestyle and Wellness Network. Reach a global audience through our platform and co-own exclusive branded content. All of our programs are available on demand and also as audio-only podcasts, so you can take us on the go. Broadcast Retirement Network, available anytime, anywhere, and on any device.